Tyler Stanley with Action, TRT, and High Performance. TRT is not what your doctor told you it was. And that misinformation is keeping men sick. Your doctor told you TRT is dangerous, that it would cause a heart attack, that it would make you infertile, that you should try to fix this naturally first. And you believed him because he's a doctor and you had no reason not to. Almost everything he told you was wrong. So you did what you were told, you cleaned up the diet, started lifting weights again, bought the supplements, maybe got a little better for a few weeks. But the real you never came back. And now you're stuck knowing something is genuinely wrong, but being told one thing that might fix it is off the table. I currently manage over 1,200 active patients at my men's health clinic. Almost every one of them came to me carrying that same warning. And when I actually traced it back to the research it came from, I stopped being able to stay quiet about it. Because when I traced that warning back to its actual source, what I found had nothing to do with your safety. I repeat that. Nothing to do with your safety. And once I saw it clearly, I couldn't stay quiet about it. I'm going to show you where the fear came from, why it doesn't hold up, and what to do differently starting this week. By the end of this, you will not be able to look at that warning the same way again. Point number one, where the TRT fear came from and why it spread. The mainstream medical position, the one most general practitioners still hold and still communicate to patients, is that testosterone therapy carries meaningful cardiovascular risk, causes permanent infertility, and should be your last resort after lifestyle interventions have been exhausted. We hear this all the time. Most men who ask their general practitioner about TRT hear a version of this, right? In 2001, a clinical trial called Testosterone in Older Men with Mobility Limitations study, which you'll see referenced as the TOM trial, was halted early. The researchers stopped it because they saw a higher rate of cardiovascular events in the group receiving testosterone than in the group receiving placebo. And when it was published, it spread fast. It got into the guidelines, it got into the medical training, it became a scientific backing for a generation of clinical caution and the warning that millions of men received for the next 2 to 3 decades was downstream of that one stopped trial. The TOM trial used men who were already at high cardiovascular risk, men with mobility limitations, men in their 70s and 80s with pre-existing conditions. It was not studying healthy men in their 40s with low testosterone. See what's going on here? And it has been followed by larger, more rigorous research, including the Traverse trial, published in 2023, which enrolled over 5,000 men and found no increased cardiovascular risk in men with symptomatic low testosterone who received TRT. The field has moved. The warnings have not. The study your doctor's warning is based on was not studying men like you. 20 years of men being told no based on research that was never designed to answer the question they were actually asking. And look, the warning made sense when it first spread. If I had seen that study in 2001 and hadn't dug deeper, I probably would have repeated it too. The problem isn't that the doctors were wrong in that study. The problem is that the evidence moved and the messaging didn't. So if the cardiovascular argument doesn't hold up the way it's been presented, what about the other warnings? The fertility argument, the "it will shut you down permanently" argument, that one goes even further, and it deserves its own examination. Point number 2, what the TRT warnings are actually doing to men. The fertility argument is the one that stops men cold. You start TRT, your body stops producing its own testosterone, you become infertile. That is the version most men carry. It's stated as though it's permanent, as though once you start, the body simply closes that door behind you and it cannot be reopened. TRT does suppress the body's natural testosterone production. That is accurate. The brain senses testosterone is in the system, signals to the testes to reduce their own output, and sperm production drops. That is a real and predictable response. What is not accurate is the permanent part. When you stop TRT or add the right supporting medications, specifically HCG, which is what we give here, thousands of bottles a month, which tells the testes to stay active, or Clomiphene, which stimulates the brain's own signaling pathway, production restores. This is not theoretical. This is managed routinely in clinical practice. At my clinic, for men who want to preserve fertility, we address it directly and proactively from day one of their protocol. The idea that TRT equals permanent infertility is simply not how the biology works when the therapy is managed properly. The fertility argument was never about your fertility. It was about a doctor or healthcare practitioner who didn't know how to manage TRT correctly, telling you that TRT can't be managed. If fertility matters to you, it belongs in the conversation. The difference is there's a protocol. You should have been told that from the start. There's one more argument most men are carrying into this conversation. It's the one that keeps them stuck the longest, and it has nothing to do with your heart or your fertility. Real quick, if this is the kind of content you've been looking for, the actual science behind what most men are being told about their hormones, rather than the surface level version, hit subscribe. Every week, I put out videos on what's actually driving the issues men in their 30s, 40s, and 50s are dealing with. The stuff that never makes it into the 12-minute primary care appointment. Subscribe so you don't miss what's coming next. Point number 3, how to tell if the myth has been costing you. You already did the work. You didn't come to TRT lazily. You spent months, likely years, trying everything else first. I get it. Not because you wanted to, but because you were told to. You cleaned up the diet. We've all tried that, right? You slept more, wake up feeling more tired. You lifted, you ran all the supplements and gave them a real shot. You went back to your doctor and the conversation went in circles. And somewhere in that process, you started wondering whether the problem was you. I've been there. You've been there too, right? Whether you just weren't trying hard enough, or maybe this was just what getting older felt like. Or maybe the real issue was your mindset and not your biology. It wasn't. The biological decline was real. The interventions were insufficient, and TRT had been taken off the table as an option. Now, let me ask you, have you tried the lifestyle interventions your doctor recommended seriously and for a sustained period and found the improvement either didn't materialize or didn't last? When you look at your testosterone number from your last lab result, does it sit in the low half or third of the reference range? Not just in range, but specifically low within that range. Has your doctor ever told you TRT is dangerous or that you should try natural methods first without showing you the specific research that warning is based on? Of course not. If you answered yes to most of those, the warning you received was not tailored to your situation. It was a default, and it costs you far too much for far too long. Point number 4. What is actually true and what to do about it? TRT is not a last resort after natural methods fail. For a man with clinically low testosterone and symptoms that match, it is the correct first intervention. And the fear campaign built around it is decades behind the current evidence. Every week you wait with genuinely low testosterone, your body is running without what it needs. And waiting is only the safe choice if safe means safe for the person writing the prescription. For you, waiting has a cost. It's just a cost that adds up quickly. After working with men for over 20 years, I know that sounds crazy. 20 years. Can't even believe that. The ones who came to me after years of being told to wait all say the same thing once they're on the right protocol. Not that they feel superhuman, just that they finally feel like themselves again. Stop accepting a warning about TRT without asking the prescriber to show you the specific research that warning is based on. If they can't name a study, or if they're still citing cardiovascular risk without referencing trials published after 2020, the warning is not current. It is not valid. It is a reflex. Start treating your symptoms as clinical data rather than as a motivation problem. The fatigue, the brain fog, the low libido, the declining muscle despite training hard, those are not character flaws. They are a biological story, and they deserve a clinician who is trained to read it. So what does this actually look like in practice? Here's exactly what to do this week. Point 5, what to do now that you know. The reason lifestyle interventions alone fail a man with genuinely low testosterone is because the body needs testosterone to make those interventions work. Sleep quality, muscle synthesis, motivation, fat metabolism, emotional regulation, all of it runs better when the hormonal foundation is in place. Trying to fix those things without addressing low testosterone is like trying to get better gas mileage by putting premium fuel in a car with a broken engine. The fuel is fine. The engine needs attention first. Pull up your most recent results and look at your total testosterone number specifically. If testosterone was not on the panel, it was never tested. That is your first data point, and it changes the conversation you need to have. If it was tested, note the specific number and where it landed within the reference range. Not just whether it was flagged, where in the range. A result of 320 and a result of 890 receive the same stamp. This is not the same as this. This 320 is not good. This 890 is way better. They are not the same result. Write down the 3 symptoms that are most affecting your quality of life right now. Not for a form, not for a questionnaire, as data, because your symptoms are clinical information and they need to be in the room when this conversation happens. Find a clinician who specializes in hormonal optimization, not a general practitioner running a routine panel. Someone who actually works with testosterone therapy regularly, who can run a comprehensive panel, including, and very important, crucial, free testosterone, sex hormone binding globulin, estrogen, and who will have a real conversation about your symptoms alongside your numbers. When you get that appointment, ask one specific question first. Given my symptoms and where my numbers are actually sitting, is the standard reference range the right measuring stick for this conversation, or do we need a different one? Final thought here. The warning you received about TRT was not wrong because your doctor wanted to mislead you. It was wrong because the system that trained him was slow to update, and the guidelines he was working from had not kept pace with the evidence. You were not failed by a bad doctor. You were failed by a protocol that was never designed to optimize your biology. You now know what that protocol was built on, where it falls short, and what a better conversation looks like. That is not a small thing. If you watched the first video on this channel about the depression testosterone connection and it landed for you, this video and that one are telling the same underlying story from two different angles. Watch the next one. It goes even deeper into the specific lab numbers your current doctor is not looking at and what they actually mean for your situation. Link is right there. Go watch it.